Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Let's see. Hi, everyone. Just gonna give a few minutes. There was technical difficulties. I had to restart the video. So let's give everyone a moment to come back in. Hi, everyone. Just gonna give a few minutes. There was technical difficulties. I had to restart the video. Hey, everyone. So let's give everyone a moment to come back in. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I will have a recorded version of this later so that you can catch it at your own time. I do appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I will have a recorded version of this later so that you can catch it at your own time. I do appreciate you stopping by. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to Turquoise Bay Studios. Ivett here. I hope you are all having a great Thursday evening, and I do appreciate your time for coming in and stopping by and crafting with me. So today will be definitely a craft with me. We will be creating some, basically what I'm going to be doing is building my stash with you guys online so that you can see how I build my stash from scratch. Especially if you're on a budget, this is the video for you. We tend to buy a lot of chipboard pieces and they get expensive. A package of chipboard pieces can run anywhere from, if you get it at a discount store, from $3.99 upwards to 20 bucks depending on what you're doing. So I am going to show you how you can make your DIY chipboard ephemera, put it together with just a few items. Now I'm going to be showing you today different ways of putting it together, but you can definitely get away with making your own with just a couple of pieces. So give me just a moment. I understand that there's some difficulty with the audio. Is that correct? No? We're good? Can everyone hear me okay? If you could tell me if you can hear me okay, I would appreciate it. That would be extremely helpful. Alrighty. So to get started today, let me show you what I went ahead and kind of put together for us already. And this is all unfinished. And here is my box of already pre-cut chipboard for you. And please, by all means, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. I'm a little slow at the chat, so bear with me, but I will get in there and make sure that I answer your questions this evening. I want everyone to understand how to put these together and save you some money on the way. And of course, fully customize your own chipboard pieces. So the majority of these will probably be going into my junk journal. If you don't know what that is, I will have a series coming up on that. I'm actually in the process of recording those for you. Anywho, so we have chipboard here, and what I cut this out of is, let's start by that. Let's show you. So as you can see, I have like little birdies, butterflies, little scallop circles, so on and so forth. You can see here, and we'll get to each one of these this evening while we're here. Let's see what's going on. Alrighty, very good. So this is a very flimsy piece. I want to say maybe 1 millimeter, maybe 2 millimeter piece of chipboard that I have here. And this was a roll of chipboard that I literally found at a store, and I asked one of the store managers, can I have it? And she said yes, and here it is, and we're repurposing it into my own pieces of ephemera. You can use chipboard pieces that you can get on Amazon, and I will be putting the link below for you. So anything that I was able to get on Amazon, I will make sure to link it below. I have an affiliate link, by the way, just to let you know ahead of time. And oh, I'm so glad that you can hear just fine. That's wonderful. And this is definitely a 2 millimeter piece of chipboard here. And I believe, yes, this one I got from Amazon, and it comes in a pack of 25, if I'm not mistaken, and it's not that expensive. I am not sure that you can use your punches with you. And this evening we're going to be using punches. But you can make your own pieces with this chipboard by making like longer pieces, and then just you can use your X-Acto knife, cut it down to size, or maybe a circle and with an X-Acto knife and cut it down to size. You can use that. Let's see. Another example is this guy right here. This one was in a, I believe this was in my son's shirt packaging, and it's pretty thick, and you could definitely use this. So, you know, let's lower the footprint on the planet by reusing things, right? Anyway, so another thing that we're going to need is glue, adhesive. So let me move this out of the way, and I'll show you the adhesives that you can use. I'm going to show you a couple that I have. Whatever you have at hand, just regular Aleene's tacky glue, if you have that, that's fine. Mod Podge, I like to use the matte one because I don't want anything to be shiny per se. So if I want to add sheen, I'll do it on my own, but when I'm adhering stuff, I don't want it spilling on the sides, and so that you can notice it. So this is why I like the matte one. This one is well loved, and all the the color is leaving it. This is your Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. Quick Dry tends to be a little better than regular adhesive, but if you just have regular adhesive, use that. Let's see. You can use your multi-glue, the Tombow one. You can use that. Let's see. You can use Fabri-Tac. My little fingers on top there. Fabri-Tac is fine for that. And of course, the one that I really tend to like the most is my Barely Art Glue. This dries really fast. It gives a really good adherence, so I like that. So those are the types of glues that I use. Of course, you can use whatever you have at hand. I don't want you to go and spend extra money. What I would like for you to do is get started using this stuff in your craft room, so that, you know, we can get some cool ephemera going. Let's see. No problem, Lauren. We'll catch the replay. Hello, Veronica. Thank you for signing in. I do appreciate your time this evening. Alrighty. So we are going to need book paper. So I have a bunch of books here that we're going to tear pages out of. This is some novel or something. So book paper. If you don't have book paper, you can use scrapbook paper. You can use newsprint. Let's see, I have like an old, let me show you. I have an old dictionary, which is probably sacrilege, but you know, it is what it is. So I found this old dictionary, so we can use dictionary paper from it. I love that the edges are all kind of old and used. And we're going to need some punches. So whatever punches you have at hand, you can probably use for this project. And let me see. So here is a circle punch. This is just a 1-inch circle punch. And as you can see here in the things that I cut out, here's the one inch circle punch right there. You can use any of the punches. Let's see. There's this oval punch, which is not in here. I'm gonna cut it down with you so you can see how easy it is to put together. Let me see, I have the corresponding scalloped oval here. Let's share with you guys. I have a 1.5 inch punch, and these are all listed in my Amazon store if you need to find them. 1 inch punch, scallop punch right here. So you get the picture. Any punches that you have available to you, you are able to use. Okay, let's see. If you have an emery board, that would be awesome. So you're going to have to cut away the paper once you adhere it to your chipboard pieces. So an old emery board, let's see, this is an old Making Memories, I think, set of emery boards that I have. I am not sure if you can find this. Like, you can see it's super used, and it brings all of these nifty little things that you can go ahead and take off the paper with. So you can sand it down, or just, you don't have to have this special little holder. It's just an emery board is fine. I'm sure you can get something like at Walmart or something, or even the dollar store. You can get a couple very inexpensively. I have a little sanding block. This is a Tim Holtz one. It could be one from, I actually have one from Home Depot or Lowe's. It doesn't really have to be anything fancy, just something so that you can go ahead and take the paper off at the edges and give it a cool look. I like to use sometimes gesso. So any type of gesso that you have, like, look, this is my very well-loved small one, kind of pour it in here. So gesso for the sides if you want that. Or, oh, going back to glue, any old glue stick. It doesn't have to be this glue stick. Any glue stick is fine. It's gonna work for you. And ink. So with ink, that can get a little tricky. To start with, I'd say if you have any distress inks or oxide inks, that's fine. Like, for instance, Vintage Photo, or any distress ink that you have is fine. I tend to use Vintage Photo Black Soot. That gives me a really neat edge around my projects. We're going to use a couple of different colors today, so we'll get through that later. But that's basically what you need, and some stamps. So when I say some stamps, you can use any stamp sets that you have, because we're just going to use little itty bits and pieces of it to embellish our project. And these are things that normally most of us crafters have in our craft room, and we can use to make our own embellishments. So let me move this to the side so that we can get started. I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper down, and bear with me. Let's see, do we have any questions in the chat? Any questions? What is everybody doing tonight? What are we doing together? Are you just watching, or are you crafting with me? So I'm going to put these here to the side. I'm going to show you what I did. So I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to try to show you in the camera that I've adhered. Remember, this is from this flimsy cardstock, excuse me, chipboard that I found at the store. And what I've done is I have punched this out 3 times, and I've adhered it together. So why don't we do that together so you can see how that works. Let me bring this guy back here. Okay, and then let's see, what do I have? I have this guy. Let's see, what didn't I put together? Let's take the birdies. So I'm going to take 3 birdies out of my pile here. And let's see, I think you can see that there. And I'm gonna grab my Barely glue. I just had it in my hand and it's missing. You guys should see how messy my desk is right now. It's crazy. All right, so I'm gonna grab my Barely glue, my Barely art glue, and it's up to you which way you want your birdie to go. In this case, I want it to go, it's flying to the left. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna add some glue. Let's see, am I in camera? Because sometimes I'm not in camera, you guys. Let me know, please, let me know. And as simple as that, no fuss, no muss. There you go, just put it together. Align that guy. Here, birdie, birdie, there we go. Here we go, we have it now. And now it's a little thicker, as you can see. And that's what we're looking for. We want it to be nice and stable so that we can manipulate it and work with it. By the way, there's a couple of more items that we'll be using this evening, and I will go ahead and mention them as we go. I didn't want to take up too much time just showing you a bunch of different things. So as we go, I will make sure to let you know what they are and where you can probably find them, or how you can improvise and use your own, make it your own. Beautiful. Here we go. So now our birdie is definitely at least 2 millimeters thick, nice and sturdy, and he's ready to go. And I'm just wiping, have a little rag with you. I'm just wiping the glue that's coming out the sides there, and we'll let it dry. And if you've ever used the Barely art glue, you know that it just dries quickly. So that's why I like it. All right, let's put some butterflies together. And again, you can do 3. 3 is my choice with this specific chipboard, but you can do 4 if you wanted to, 4 layers. You don't have to necessarily do that. Hello, hi Soph, how are you? Thank you for joining us. We are making our own chipboard ephemera this evening. So, and then just put the glue down, you get the gist here. Make sure that it's matching up for you. Here we go. And then we go on with our next layer. And by the way, earlier I was looking for which way I want my birdie to go. At this point, it doesn't matter because it's just chipboard. Huh. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, what a precious little butterfly. By the way, this is a Martha Stewart butterfly punch, if you guys have that. If not, I'm sure there's a ton that you can find online by different brands. I'm kind of bummed that those are no longer being made because there was a lot of cool little punches by Martha Stewart. By the way, some of my friends call me, because I am Hispanic, they call me Martita Stewart. I didn't like it very much, but now I've embraced it. Anyway, so there we go. Oh, let me see, we have these guys. I want to make sure that we're making at least one of each so that you can see. And this is just a little like sign punch that I have. And I think this is Stampin' Up, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if they're being made anymore, but like I said, you can just take an X-Acto knife and a self-healing mat and your chipboard and go to town and cut different shapes. If you're good with drawing, you can draw it out and then very carefully cut it out and make any shape that you want and save yourself money by doing this. And like I said, these are going to go into my, most likely into my junk journal. And like I said, I have a series coming up on my channel, so look out for that. Make sure to to like and thumbs up and follow if you haven't. Make sure you're following so that you can keep updated to what's going on. You see the thickness? Very cool, huh? Alrighty, so let's see. Let's do one more of these for good measure. Do I have one? I do. These little cute little signs. And then I'm going to be making these most likely into little dangle tags, you know, kind of like junk journal candy to hang from different pages. But you can use this, like I said, you can use this on your page, inside as ephemera. These are flat enough. I mean, you can build them up, but these are flat enough that if you wanted to send these in Happy Mail, this would be great to send in Happy Mail. Imagine making a cute little folio and filling it up with all of these and sending them to a crafty friend that's unsuspecting. I would be happy to receive that. Let's see. Make a couple more of these. And like I said, I'm building these up with 3. If you were using any of the other ones that I showed earlier, any of the chipboard, you don't have to use 3. This is thick enough that you don't have to. But these are kind of thin, so. And then I won't bore you with this too much longer. Let me just get 2 more of these, and we will get to putting these together. There we go. Oops. Trying to go too fast. I'm getting ahead here. I'm getting ahead of myself. Alrighty, let's see. And I just said I wouldn't bore you, but I think I'm gonna put together one more birdie. So that we can have some variety. Let's see. Do you guys want to tell me what type of glue you guys like to use? I'm always open to hearing about different things that work well. Alrighty, one more birdie going. Alright. Just make sure you've got some good contact. All of a sudden I got super quiet and into this bird. Let's see. How is the weather in the city that you live in? Hasn't this weather been crazy? It's been crazy weather. Alrighty. So let me move these over. And now we have, oh, this one did not. Let me make sure we got you. Oh, there we go. Okay, here you go. So we've got some chipboard ephemera, you guys, and we paid really nothing, pennies for this. Here we go. That's it. That's the video. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me close my glue momentarily. And what we're going to do now is we are going to get some book paper or some dictionary paper, and we're going to start covering these. So I'm going to go into this dictionary, and I am just going to just pick a page that doesn't have any indecent words because it's an old dictionary. And let's see. Don't come after me, book police. I'm about to do this. So I'm just going to go ahead and hopefully that worked. Maybe not. There we go. There we go. I've got a page out of the dictionary. And what I am going to do is, let's see. Have you guys actually gone in and read some of these dictionary, the words in some of these old dictionaries? It is crazy, you guys. Alrighty, I think this is safe enough. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take, let's see, let's use the glue stick so that you can see that it's that easy. And I'm just gonna go and put some of this glue right directly on the chipboard. And I'm going to make sure that it goes all the way on all of the edges. And I'm just gonna put it down. You see, old rag. Make sure you have an old rag. And if you have a nice manicure, I'm sorry, by the end of this, it might not be very nice. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to haphazardly just cut it out. Just like that. I want you to see that it's not necessary to be super precise. It's not necessary to be really, you know, dainty with it if you don't want to. And as you can see, it's kind of coming off the sides. That's fine. Make sure you press down. And that's it. That is the beginning of your ephemera. You don't have to do very much. Now, if you feel so inclined to cutting this out with your punch because you want it perfectly there, that's great. But remember I mentioned the sanding block earlier? We're gonna go ahead and just sand off the edges because that's the look I want. And as you can see how pretty that is? Let's see. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just sand it all the way around. This does get messy. If you can't be around dust or anything like that, well then just go ahead and cut it out with the same hole punch. Excuse me, with the same paper punch, and then place it on top, and that's all you would need to do is that. And if they're like kind of pesky, they are kind of because my fingers are filled with glue. But this is all you need to do. And there we go. We have that. If you have a hole punch, and that's why I was thinking about that. This is 1/8 of an inch hole punch, and I will make sure to list one. If you want to make this into a dangle tag, what you would do is you're going to come in and you're going to eyeball it, there we go, punch through, and now you have a little punched hole there. And if you have one of these garment pins, you can go ahead and add a garment pin to that. Let's see, I have. And if you don't feel like doing anything else to this, that's it. You are done. You now have a charm that you can hang from your junk journal. Okay? And this one has the word December in there. It's kind of cool. Alrighty, so I'm going to take this out. We'll come back to these pins later. Put those to the side. But I just want to show you every step of the way that you don't necessarily have to take it all the way to the end. If this is what you choose to do, this is just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and add some book paper or dictionary paper. Let me just rip some out to the rest of this. Let's use the glue this time, just to show you. This is dangerous. Let me put this away. I will definitely impale myself with that. So Take some of the glue, put some glue like we did to put it all together earlier. Add it to your butterfly. There we go. And find a place on the dictionary paper. Let's see. Right here is fine. And then just glue it on there. And I'm just taking it off, y'all. Just take it off. Well, thank you. Thank you, Veronica. Alrighty, so let's see. Now I'm going to try to cut as close as possible because it will be hard to get in here depending on what sanding block you use or emery board that you use. And that's close enough. And then again, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to come in. And then for this one, I have these nifty tools. And I'm sure that you can find this. I'm not sure where at this moment. I will try to figure it out and put it in the description box after. Let's see. There are more tools in here. You see some of these, like this one is round. This one has one flat side and one like oval side. And as you can see, they're very well loved. I use this all the time. See, you're just gonna go ahead and you're gonna, this butterfly specifically has little grooves, as you can see, little beautiful little areas here where it has the little wings. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. There's some areas where you can see. Let's see. And you don't have to fuss too much with it because we're gonna add more to these, right? So let's see. There you go. Add to the side. Let's get our birdie going. Let's use our glue stick for that. Sticky. Sticky, sticky. And I said I wanted to go one way, and now I did the other way, but that's okay. I think I want him to go right there. Birdie. Oh. Oh. We need the beak. We need the beak. All right. Just set him down, let him dry. Let me go ahead and get this guy. And again, just make sure that you're covering all the way to the edge. You don't want it to come up on you. Let me go ahead and grab some book paper. I like the dictionary paper because the words are a lot smaller. And since these are a little bit smaller, it just works out. We'll leave that alone, just let it dry. Let's see. Here we go. Make sure you got it positioned where you want. And again, just tear off the excess. It's dry. Let's see. I'll grab some. I don't know if you can tell. Do you see these little grooves? I had put this, I was going to use this for something, an accordion fold it. So I put it through my, excuse me. Ooh. excuse me, I put it through my scoring board, and that is now giving it really cool texture. So I am going to go ahead and grab my glue for this one. It's a bigger surface. I want to cover more. So I'm just going to go ahead and just add. And as you can see, you're not using a lot of glue. So this project really does not need a lot of product for you to have a really nice piece. And I think that's good there. And again, I'm going to let that dry. Let me grab a piece of scrapbook paper. Just to be thorough. And so I have these cool little pages by, these are Tim Holtz ones, and I think, let me see, I may go in there, but let me open this guy up. I was in here earlier for another reason, and I saw some really neat paper. Let me move this to the side. Oh, and I said I would show you how easy we can cut these pieces out with the punches, and we'll do that as well. And these are worn wallpaper scraps. So they're very thick, and they definitely feel like wallpaper. Let me see, what do I want from here? Something. I am looking for something that will work with that piece. Let's see. It's being difficult. Oh, we'll use this one. Now, for this piece, I think I'm going to go ahead and just cut it with the actual paper punch. So the paper punch I used for this one is a Stampin' Up! One, and this is what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and punch it. This is a little on the thicker side. I don't necessarily want to use my sanding block for that, and I'm going to go ahead and look for, oh, right there, look at that, that's just perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Put that to the side. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. I love it. Hello, Simply Paper. Can you tell me what your name is? Thank you so much for stopping in. I really do appreciate it. Oh my goodness, I have like glue in my nails. You guys, this is not for the faint at heart. Your hands are going to get mucky. I'm telling you right now. You heard it here. Let's see. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. Let's see. Once more, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out to hang out with me on this craft with me this evening. And as you can see, if this is the way that you choose to do it, by using your punches and not doing what I did here, that is completely okay. You can still sand down the edges if you want to afterwards, just to give it that grungy junk journal look to it. Look at that. Isn't that cool? All right, let's go back to our birdie, and I'm gonna cut this down as much as possible. And pretty much any scrapbook paper you have works. as I said earlier, newspaper print works. But my favorite are old books. I go shopping for old books. It's my favorite thing to do. Okay, we'll come back to that guy in 1 second. Let me just go ahead and cut all of these out. And I'm cutting these down, but you don't have to. Like I showed you with the circle earlier, you can just take your sander and sand it down, right? And then this guy, let's see. Oh, and I just noticed on this one, I left an exposed area, which is completely okay for me. If you want to be that perfectionist crafter, I completely respect it. And my address will be in the info box, and you can send me your perfect projects because I would love them. But I am not that crafter. Like, well, I say that, but I think I am sometimes. Sometimes I am a perfectionist, but for the most part, in the craft room with art, I just like to get down and dirty, and it doesn't affect me as much. With other things, I'm pretty meticulous, but when it comes to my arty projects, not so much, because it helps me, right? Everyone does everything a little bit differently, but for me, for my own mental health, for crafting, for me, makes me more happy when I can just let loose and there are no rules. So if you're that person, this is your channel. There we go. And in this case, so as you can see, I left this exposed. So I can just, if you are a bit of a perfectionist and you want everything to look uniform and make sure that everyone knows that, hey, that was what I intended to do, just take your sanding block, sand it down on the sides, and it's gonna look like it's part of your perfect imperfection. There we go. Okay, so there's that guy, there's that one. Here's our butterfly. You can do the same thing with the butterfly. Since it has a little cute little grooves, you can go ahead and shave it down and give it that look. But like I said earlier, we're going to be using ink on these, so it doesn't really matter, right? Again, I'm going to use my little tag. I'm going to go and use my sanding block for that. Like so. There we go. And our birdie. Now, I don't want to take his tail out. I've done that before. That's kind of sad when you take the tail out. And tail feathers. Those are necessary for flight. In a make-believe land, he needs to fly, right? He needs to fly in our junk journals and our projects. By the way, if you have scrapbook paper and you're working like on a different layout or something like that, you can take your scrapbook paper and make your own ephemera with this. So I keep mentioning junk journal just because these guys are going to go into my junk journal. But if I were working with a paper pack per se, I would go ahead and I would make my own ephemera. And then you can make whatever you want. You don't have to buy the one that comes with that set. Right? So let's see. I'm going to cover this guy with one of these papers, and this is called backdrops. So I am not using it as a backdrop. I am going to use it for my ephemera. Alrighty. Let's get in here. And I'm showing you all of this not because my original intention was just to use book paper and dictionary paper, but since we're here, I am just going to show you different ways that you can use this. And I might change my mind. This is so beautiful. Anyway, but look at those butterflies. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, let's see. What paper? Oh, cool. Oh, music paper. Actually, hang on a second. Let me ask my assistant Assistant, would you mind handing me the book of music, the music book? You have music paper. I think we're gonna do that instead of this guy. But since we're here, let's take a look at these pages. Oh my gosh. They are, I hadn't looked at this pack yet. I just got it not too long ago and it's so, so cool. Anyway, alrighty. Let's use some music paper instead. Let's do that. So I have a book and it's not that old. So what I normally do is I can coffee dye my paper or I can distress it. So I think I showed this on another live. This is 125 Broadway's Best Loved Melodies. And it's not very old. This is what year is this edition? I don't know, but there's the ISBN. If you choose to find it, you can go ahead and screenshot that. I don't see a year on here. I really don't. So I am just going to take a page out of here. Well, we were in December a minute ago. Now we're in December, in September. So let's go and take this song out. And yes, book police, do not come after me. I bought this for like, oh, there we go, $5.99 at a secondhand store. And then they had some kind of sale, so it came out like to $2.99. And let's see. I am going to choose from right in here. And I'm just cutting it down just to make it a little easier for me to handle the paper. But like you saw earlier, I just took the whole thing and then just went to town. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my glue again. And you know what? Let's use the punch. Let's use a punch on that. So this is the punch for that one. This is a Stampin' Up! Punch. And I'm not sure if it's still available. It might be. If not, I am sure you can find something similar or even better. And I'm just going to go in there and move it around. Right there. Right there is good for me. And let's go ahead and adhere that one. And we're almost at the even more fun part. This is so soothing for me. By the way, if you feel like you don't have time to cut down the chipboard and do all of that, if you, like for instance, I'm not big on watching TV, but I like to jam out on music. So sometimes I just have my earphones in and I just go to town and cut down all of these pieces. Let's see. Oh, this glue is fast. I told you guys. Then if you're into watching TV, let's see, I need more glue. That was too fast. If you are, let's use the glue stick instead. That way it gives you a little more time to move things around. If you are into watching some kind of a movie or something, just have your punches with you if it's not too distracting. And then just take an afternoon and evening and punch out a bunch of chipboard, and then go ahead and at a later date you can work on putting them together, or books on tape, or a TED talk, just something where you're just listening and you can just go ahead and those are just ideas. Sometimes people are like, that I don't know, I don't have enough time, I can't, work that into my schedule. You sure can. You just, just go ahead, plan ahead, and you can do that. Or if you have free labor at home, i.e. your kids, have them. They might enjoy this depending on the age. Punching a bunch of stuff for you. Might be a little crooked. I don't know about, you know, but if you're okay with that, depending on their age, it might be a little wonky. But I'm sure that'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and I am just going to, for this one, I'm going to expose the edges because as you can see, this one has little scallops on there. And of course, your block is not going to go through there. If you have the little precise thingies, then yeah, sure, that's going to work. But in this case, I am just going to go ahead and just file it down like so. Take the little pieces off. And you'll see how cool this is going to look in a minute once we get to the inking part of this. And then let's see. See? Just take your file. And if you have an emery board, the emery board you can also use to get into those little nooks and crannies. See? So if those bother you that they're not exposed, an emery board will work. So if you can't find something like this, you can definitely use an emery board, and you can shave off the sides like this, and it's going to give it that old vintage grungy look. And that's it, you guys. That's pretty much it. So let me move these to the side. We can come back to those. Clean my area down a little bit. There's a lot happening over here, you guys. Just a lot happening at this desk. My work desk is a work desk for sure today. Hot mess, work desk. Alrighty. How about that? Look. Aren't those cool? Let's see, I don't think we didn't do these guys. So we'll work on that in just a moment. Let me close my glues down. I want them to dry out. So let's do a little bit of cleaning. Get some of this out of the way. Any questions? I said I would show you how to cut these down. So I have this scalloped square here, and like I said, you just go in, and it's going to take a little bit of pressure, and there we go. And you just cut those. I did say I would show you. We've got 3 of these. Then with something like this that's scalloped this way, if you're not feeling covering it with the book just because you might not get really cool edges here, you can go ahead and add gesso to it or paint. Any paint that you have. Expensive paint, cheap paint. I think I picked this up at Target, this acrylic paint. You can just paint it and distress it, okay? So very, very simple. If you don't have any punches, cut out some squares or some circles with your X-Acto knife. That's all you need to do, okay? So let's see, let's go ahead and I am going to move some of these things over, like I said earlier. Let me bring out my mat, because I don't want to make a mess on the glass mat now. And oh, I told you things are falling. We have a disaster area going on in my space. Let's see. So, for instance, on this guy that is unfinished, let's go ahead and show you what I mean about using your gesso. here we go. I'll use this one. So I have white gesso, and I am just going to finger paint some white gesso on this guy. Just going to add some. Got it all over my finger. Should have brought some gloves, but here we go. Not necessary to have a paintbrush. These work just fine. And for this guy, I'm not going to add gesso all the way around, but just in some areas. There we go. Make it nice and smooth. Let that dry. Okay, and the same for this little guy. Let's do that. Actually, let me see. Yeah, let's do some gesso. And this is Dina Wakely white gesso. It doesn't matter which one. I think Walmart has very inexpensive gesso that you can use. The thing is to use what you've got. Whatever you've got, use it. It doesn't have to be designer name brand or anything like that. All right, very good. So now I am going to, let's see, before we get inky, let's take out some stamps. So you'll need a stamp block of some sort. I have like an assortment of stamp blocks. And let's see. Can I have the stamps, please? Let me share a little bit of a haul that I have here. So this is a set of 4 stamps, and I believe this was $8.97 on Amazon, and it was by Modison. Modison? I'm not sure. I'll leave it up to you on how to pronounce that. I have quite a bit of stamps by Globeland. I like them. And this is a ticket stamp situation. Here we have butterflies, we have some ferns, and there's some writing ones. We'll get in there in a second. And this one is by Silver Dew, and I'll show you. This one has really cool tickets and writing, little notes. We have numbers. We have stamps. And in this set, we have, again, some more writing. Really cool. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because this is 4 stamp sets for $8.97. So for $2 and some change, you've got a bunch of stamps. I also have, my favorites are these guys here, these Stampers Anonymous. But I understand that these are expensive, and not everybody, and especially if you're starting off, this is not what you want to necessarily start off with. And so this is why I'm showing you these, so that very inexpensively you can work on these projects. So I'm gonna put this to the side. This is that Globeland one, and then this is, again, this is a 4-pack, Amazon. They're linked on my, they'll be linked below. And then here you have moons, you have really cool leaves, butterflies, and some ferns that we can work on this, okay? So let's see, I'm going to take a fern one out real quick. And let's see, I'm going to take this guy here and my block. If you ever buy a new stamp block going forward, you can grab an eraser, and I have this eraser, but it could be a pencil, any pencil eraser that you have, the top of the eraser, and then go over it, and it will help it adhere better because it comes with some kind of coating or something. So I have learned that if you just take your eraser and kind of erase over it, you will get a better contact. Okay, And then let's see, I want to do it on this music paper, and I would like to use some of my Distress Oxide. So we talked about those earlier. We talked about Distress inks. And let's see, where's my green? I'm going to add this one. This one is Mowed Lawn. And for now, I have this piece of paper. I also have the, let me see, what do you look like? Since I haven't stamped with this, make sure. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna add a little bit there. You grab my chamois. Some right there. If you're messy like me, just grab your chamois and, you know, some right there. There we go. This, once you start stamping, it goes really fast, super easy. Let's see. Move that guy to the side. Move this green out of the way. See that? How cute is that? And now, let's see, I want to use the butterfly ones. Let's break into the butterfly stamp set. And again, you want to grab your eraser, and just to prove a point, any eraser will work. And let's see, what butterfly do I want? Oh, she's cute. Let's do that one. Just to prove a point. I like that thick one because it just goes faster. As you can see, you have more real estate on it, so you can just, you know, but any eraser works. Get that out of the way. Just grab your stamp block. And what color do I want? Let's see. I can just do black soot. That's fine. Just do black soot. Now my black soot, I believe, is kind of dry. No, it'll work. It works. I've had this for years, you guys, and I haven't re-inked it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it a little bit sideways. There we go. Look how pretty that is. And then maybe so that we can have it going uniformly, we can use, let's see. Oh no, oh no, garbage. Some stuff fell in the garbage, you guys. Here we go. Gonna grab this guy, black soot. Okay, let's see. And I am going to go around the edges and distress this guy. Now, would I make this into a dangle tag? Probably not. It's pretty big. So this one will have some kind of a focal point inside of my book. See? Super pretty. I like that. You can make this into any color combination that you want. Say I wanted to distress the center and make it kind of look a little yellowish. I am going to take my vintage photo now. Now, for distressing, I love these guys. Antique linen, brush corduroy. Those are my favorite combinations. So I'm just taking a little off on the side there. And I'm going to go in the center, my frame. There we go, just in the center. and grunge that up just even more. You see that? Super cute. Let's put that to the side. Keep these straight. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, something else that I forgot. So say you weren't too happy because this is, I like it just the way it is, but say you were not too happy for whatever reason with the black around here and you wanted to grunge it up a little more, just go ahead and take your sanding block and you can sand that down. Do you see that? And give it almost, not almost, give it a more distressed look on the sides. Like that. There you go. It's just another idea. Okay, and then, let's see. I didn't put this guy away. Let's put him away. Because like I said, my desk is a hot mess. And if I don't do that now, forget it. It'll be even worse. Alrighty, so let's see. I am going to grab, what is she going to grab? Let's see. I am going to grab one of these Tim Holtz stamps that I like so much. And I like to put them in these envelopes, you guys, because these will come off. After a while, the cling won't cling anymore. And I think I'm going to use this field label one. This one. I like that. And for this one, instead of black soot, I am going to go in with my archival ink. And I am going to use that. And I just re-inked it, so it might be juicy. Let's see. No, not so much. Not so much. Everything's flying out of my hands, you guys. It's okay. All is well at Turquoise Bay Studios. And then, let's see. I don't know that I want field label in there. So I think I am going to just stamp right down here with it. And now between the writing and the script, it looks all convoluted, which is what I'm looking for. Okay. Let me go ahead and clean my stamp off. Put that away. By the way, these chamois are listed also on my Amazon storefront because I like it that much. And let's see, I am going to take, let's see, some numbers. This one right here. Let's take some numbers. And I haven't used this number, so I'm going to go ahead and, like I said earlier, just go ahead and take your eraser, go to town on it, and I'll add this number. Now, why am I using a book paper and then adding script? And because this will become the background to me layering onto this piece, okay? So now I added the number there. You see, you can now take, like, say we painted our bird or we have some other ephemera that we want to put on top. We can just go ahead and use this as a layering piece. So like for instance, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So I have like this butterfly and I have these flowers. So say here, I'll give you an example right now so that you can have an idea on how to use these, put these together. So let me go ahead and let me take this out of the way and I will show you how you can layer things onto your ephemera pieces, although I'm sure you already know. You guys are all experts. But just in case, I'll go ahead and show you. So let's take this mowed lawn, and I'm going to add it to this sprig and scattered straw. Let's see. Let me see. The assumption is that the flowers up there and the rest are leaves. Got it. And this is mowed lawn, and let's see, where are you? Right here. And just add this. Ooh, that's a bright, bright, bright color, but we will mute it down in just a second. And we don't need the whole entire sprig for this, so I'm not going to go and color all of it. And now to mute it down just a tad bit, I'm going to go in with my vintage photo. Yeah, vintage photo right over that. And give it a little bit of a, muck it up a little. There we go. Right, that's good enough. Let it go, Ivett, let it go. So now I am going to go ahead and ink around the edges. Let me use the same vintage photo and go ahead and ink around the edges on this guy. More or less like that. If you find that you are heavy-handed like I am sometimes, like I said, you can go ahead and find your block in your messy desk area. I'm sure you guys are not messy, it's just me. And you can take that down a little bit, right? And now, let's see, I have a yellow butterfly. It just so happened that I was working on something earlier that was yellow. And I am going to take this guy, and maybe you wanted to come off the page a little bit, like so. And I lost my scissors again. There we go. Save that for later, you can use it. And, oh, we said the birdie. Let's see, what color do I want to make this birdie? I want to add some, let's see. I have this robin's egg, but I also have a distress ink in robin's egg, don't I? Somewhere in here. Nope, it's speckled egg, excuse me. Speckled egg, right here. And let's distress this buddy up. Remember to clean your surfaces. If not, you're gonna get unwanted colors on things at times, unless you want it there. Sometimes I make mud and it looks good, so. And then now I'm going to grab, sorry I keep reaching, and that's because I have my little brushes hanging out over here, but it's okay. It's an understanding group. So now I am going to go all over my birdie with this. And because it's a distress oxide, if you wet it, it gives you a really cool speckled look. Let me go ahead and dry it real quick. Give it a quick dry. Here we go. So now I will take my glue, and do I want the birdie on top or below? I think I want the bird on top. Just glue here and there. Some of this is coming off the page, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, and then let's see. I want him to come off the page a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my dimensional tape. Just a piece of dimensional tape. Like, I have a little piece right there that I guess I cut too much of, and I will add it to him right back there. And the birdie is still a little wet. And where do I want you? I want you like this. And I will grab a tiny little bit of hot glue for my butterfly. And I will make it go this way. And now you have an ephemera piece that can go inside of your anything, your scrapbook, your junk journal, your journal, it doesn't matter, your planner, anywhere that you'd like. And you can add some dimensional foamies on the back of this and have it pop off your page. You can add more greenery if you want to, anything. Let's give this birdie an eye. Go in there. Give him a little eye. He needs an eye. Just an eye. One eye right there. See? Alrighty, let me move this over. And let's finish the other ones. What do you guys think? I would love to hear what you think. Let's see. Let's grab, I keep talking about brush corduroy, so let's use brush corduroy on this one. And let's add some. This is more like a mustard yellow kind of, sort of, with some brown undertones, which I enjoy. There we go. That's that. And I will go ahead and, let's see, let me grab another stamp set for you guys. What am I feeling right now? Let's see, this one, letters. Let's see, maybe this guy. Let me move these out of the way. These are the ones that we finished somewhat. Again, you can build this one up and make it super chunky. And I think I'm going to grab this received tag here. And we're going to add, let's see. Let's use the what is it, mowed lawn one, just for kicks and giggles. Let's see what you look like with. It's pretty loud, but let's see. I'm going to stamp off to the side, right there. You can hardly see it, but we're gonna build it up, right? So let's clean this off. And that gave it a little pop of color. So it doesn't all have to be super grungy. You can give pops of color here and there. And let's see, what do I think? You see what I mean? They'll start coming off, you guys. So make sure that if you can't afford the envelopes, put it into like Ziploc bags. But make sure, because you will, there's a lot of little moving pieces that you can lose. And I'd hate to hear that you lost something. That's not cool. All right, let's see. A number. Let's use a number, and let me go ahead and use my archival ink. And let me put you right there, just like that. Okay. And let's see, what else do we want? How about airmail just across the center there? And again, I'm going to go in with my archival ink. It says via airmail, and we're not going to get the whole thing in there, but that's pretty cool. Let me show you. And this is the one that we made the tiny hole in, so that we can add our little garment pin through it. Now, something else that you can do is add things to that. So let me see what I have here. Let's see. I have a ton of little doilies that I coffee dyed, and I think it fits perfectly right behind it. Yep, it does. And I have, look, I even have birdies that are coffee, and it smells. Can you smell it? It smells like coffee. And then we have a little flower. So let's go ahead and show you what you can do with that. Move this out of the way. So I am going to go ahead and with whatever's left over on my vintage photo, I'm just going to go and add some right around that flower or petal, flower petal. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my 1/8 inch hole punch and make a little punch in there. And let me see, what are we looking like here? I need to make a hole punch on this one. Hang on. And I think I'm eyeballing it right about there. And I'm going to add this guy to the back. So I'm going to add my little flower in the front. You can add beads in here if you want to. You can tie some, what is that called? Eyelash trim on there. Or yarn. Is it yarn or trim? You guys correct me. That was too low. Let me see. Let me see. There we go. And now you have a little dangle tag with different things on it. Like so. You can add a little bit of stickles on here and make that shiny if you wanted to. Here's some stickles. Just come out wherever you are. And give it some pizzazz. Everything looks better when it's shiny. There we go. There you go. See that? And it cost you nothing. It really cost you nothing, because the majority of these things as crafters we have hanging around in our craft spaces. So let's see, how are we doing on time? How long have we been on? I don't know. Is anybody keeping time? Maybe an hour? I don't want to keep you too long. So let me go ahead, and I want to add the speckled egg that we used earlier on this, on the sides. Let's see how that looks. I was thinking black soot, as I get speckled eggs all over my watch. Yeah, that's not really going to show very much. Let me see. Well, it's showing a little bit. So let me go ahead and commit to this for now. And then I will add black soot around the sides. And I think that the black soot's gonna make this a beautiful, beautiful color stand out. And again, this piece is one of those pieces that I would build up on. So can you see how you can actually see the speckled egg all around that on the sides there? And now I am going to take the black soot and then just a little bit. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of a kitchen tile. Somehow it just reminds me like I'm in some exotic place and the kitchen tiles look like this. I was in Egypt last year and there was a kitchen that I walked into and they had tiles that looked like this. It's just beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? The way that just made that pop. Put that to the side with our finished pieces. Alrighty. Okay, if you have background stamps like this one, that also works. So like, for instance, this little guy right here that we just put gesso on already has some texture because you can see the chipboard back there. But if I were to go into my black soot, and as you can see, this stamp has the little sticky back on there so that I can make it into a stamp, but since I use this for mixed media, I just kept it like this. It's just easier for me to work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna lightly add that, and now I've added more texture to this. And once we add ink and different pieces of ephemera to it, let's see. Doesn't this remind you of like a little cigar band? It's supposed to be what is it, like a label, but to me that's what it reminds me of. And I'm gonna add some to this one as well, and just clean it a little bit. I'm not too fussy about completely cleaning them. Like I said, I use them for mixed media, so it's not really a thing. And this is, let me see, Unity Stamp Co. Christy Tomlinson is that. And then let's see, what do I want to stamp on here? Let's go with one of the stamp sets that I mentioned earlier. Let's see. I think we're gonna go with this one. Let's see. We are gonna go with this guy right here. And again, make sure, I can't stress this enough, make sure that you go over with an eraser and help take that. See, these are very, very slick on the top, and once you go over with your eraser, it gives it a better adherence. So with this one, I'm going to go in with my Distress ink, just because it's right there. Yes, let's see. Here we go. You can't make out any of what that says, but it gives it so much texture, and that's exactly what makes me happy. Makes me very happy. Alrighty. Put this guy away. And with this one, I'm going to go with scattered straw because why not? Add some yellow to this. And as you can see earlier, I was just going around this way. Right now, oh, it's distressing, so it's coming up a little bit. It's okay. I didn't give it enough time, but that's fine. And I think I'm going to make this into a little dangle as well. And then let me grab, I'm going to grab a gold one from here. And these will be linked below so that you guys can find it. Let me grab. Oh, I have a trick for you. If you are not steady, like me, to finding the center of this, right? Before you actually punch them, what I suggest that you do is, stuck. I did a somewhat okay job here. But what I suggest that you do is that you grab your paper that you're going to punch on, you grab your chipboard that you're going to punch on and go ahead and make the little punch, right? And then you grab your punch. If I can find it in this hot mess, give me just a moment. If I can find my punch, where are you? Okay, well, here's a tiny little flower punch, and that's going to work just as well. And then you come in with your punch, you stick it in there. Nope, it's not going to work. I did it too far in, so let me do this again. Try number 2. There we go, a little bit further up. You go in there, and now you want to line up your flower. You see that? See how I'm lining it up? So it's almost like, you see it's like in the little petal area. And then you cut it out. And now your hole is perfectly there. But remember, you're going to do this 3 times. So you want to make sure that it's at the right place the 3 times. If not, then just try when you have it finished, and good luck. Godspeed, my friends. Godspeed, my crafty friends. That's the best that I know how to do at this point. So that's another way of doing it, okay? Or like when it's like this, just go ahead and you can go ahead and measure it and then place it, you know? You can try it that way as well. But I've ruined many of little projects that way. I'm sad to say. So I have this little paper tassel that I made, and it's unfinished, but just for demonstration purposes, you can make your own little paper tassels. And let me know in the comments or in the chat or in the comments if you're interested, and I can show you. It's not even completely closed, so we're gonna make believe add this to this. If I don't keep dropping things, and I think it looked better there. Look how pretty that is. But I'm gonna go ahead, since I've already kind of committed to this one, and you can add that to it. You can add pretty much anything you want. See how pretty that is? And I kind of messed it up there, but that's okay. A little more gesso on top, another stamp, and you're fine. You will be golden. Anyway, so let me go ahead and, oh no, we said we were going to build this one up, so let's leave that one alone. Leave well enough alone. But this is what our project this evening looks like, and build your stash. I am going to continue to craft the rest of the evening and make a ton of these and have them ready for me to use. I'm going to build on that one as well. This is what I've got for you this evening. Let me know if you like the project that you saw this evening, and make sure that you thumbs up. I don't see any thumbs up, so I would really appreciate if you guys would thumbs up this video. And I do appreciate you guys being here, and have a good evening. Stay safe, stay dry, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.